Hello and welcome everyone to another Foreman community demo. So if you have any questions during the demo, feel free to reach out to us on the Foreman channel on Libre IRC or on our YouTube live chat, as I'll be monitoring both for questions. And if you have any problems with buffering while watching this live stream, just drop a comment to us on the YouTube live chat or on IRC, and you're welcome to join us on the Google Meet. At the moment, all looks good, but as you know, things can go strange at any point. So just before we begin, a few announcements. As you know, the first release candidate for Foreman 3.0 is available, and there's a second release candidate due next week. So please evaluate, test the release candidates, and let us know what you think. And as you probably heard by now, the completion of the puppet extraction is one of the major milestones for Foreman 3.0. And in the announcement of the release candidate on our community discourse, there's a link to a roadmap from Andra that provides more information about how things will look for Puppet users over the next few Foreman releases. So if you are a Puppet user, please do take a look at that so you know what to expect. And if you weren't with us for the previous community demo, Andra gave a thorough overview of what puppet extraction actually means and what to expect and how things will work from here on. So maybe if you haven't seen it, do go back and take a look. And if you have any questions, just let us know. And yes, so just please take a look at our release candidates, and this will definitely help to improve things and make the future release as stable as possible. And again, thank you. I see in the discourse this week, I've seen people are looking at the release candidate, and thanks so much to everyone who has tested it so far. And our community survey is still open, and thank you so much to everybody who has completed it so far. As I've said before, it's our singular opportunity in a year to collect data on how you're using the project, and we definitely want to hear from you, and we want to know what's going well and also what we need to improve on. So please take the 10 minutes to complete the survey, and there's a link to the survey in the description of this video, and I'll also pop one in the chat once I shut up talking. And if you've been looking on our Foreman blog this week or just in the community discourse, you might have seen that Maria, who has been involved in the UX efforts for Foreman, she's asking for feedback and comments about the redesign of the search bar in Foreman. And she also has she's basically looking for feedback in a questionnaire on the new design layouts. There's a short questionnaire from her that's included in this video description also, and by completing it, you're very much helping to shape the future of Foreman. So the last thing for me for today, as you can see from we're allegedly on community demo 99. So in 3 weeks, we'll be on community demo 100. And I was just wondering, we'd like to do something at the beginning of the demo to mark that we've been going for this long. So I was wondering what you all think. Have you any ideas? And if you do, post wrong answers only in IRC or in the chat during the course of this demo, and just let us know. And I think that's everything from me for now. So I will hand you over to our first demo of the day, which is going to be from Amir, and Amir is going to talk about new cards in the host details page. So over to you, Amir.
Hello, everyone. Let me share my screen. 1 second. Hopefully you can see my screen now. So today I would like to discuss and show you some new content in the new host detail page. The new host detail page is still an experimental feature. So you need to turn the experimental feature on in order to see this page. And you can do it in the settings. And after that, you can go to the host index page, and under the actions column, you can find a new item, which is new details page. Clicking on that opens the new host detail page. And today I would like to show you some new content, which is all of these cards, as you can see now. So we have new tab. We have the overview tab. After that, Ondra will show you the Ansible tab content. But now I want to be focused on the overview tab. So now we have 4 different cards in this overview tab. The first one is details card, which basically gives you some insights, some details about the host, like IP address, MAC address, host group, host owner, and the comment. You can also copy to your clipboard the IP address or the MAC address. And also, currently, we develop the power status, so you can see what the power status in the right top area. You can see what the power status, you can change it, turn the host on or off, etc. So the next card is host statuses. It basically rearranged all the host statuses data for this host. You can manage all of the statuses. As you can see, a modal opens with all of the statuses, including not available statuses. So as you can see, this list is basically all the statuses that Foreman supports, including statuses that arrived from plugins. So for example, we have 3 statuses divided by states, OK state, warning, and error. You can also open the modal from the top. So even if you in another tab, as you can see, we have the global status. You can click on it, and then the modal opens, the same modal. So you can manage it from this card. You can clear a status like the forget status worked in the previous page. So if I click clear, of course, I need to make sure that I want to clear this status. The status disappeared and become not available. Also, I can, if I want to see more information about the status, as you can see, some statuses have links. So for this example, the configuration status, if I click on the configuration, I go to the config report to see more details about this error. Okay, so moving on to the next card, this is the recent audit. You can see only 3 recent audits related to this host. Of course, what is the action? In this example, we have update, it can be delete, it can be create. A timestamp in a time ago format, and what user actually did the action. And also you can go to the all audits related to this host by clicking on this. And you can see more details about audits, of course, related to this host. Last but not least, this is the recent jobs card. It comes from remote execution, so also plugins can add their content to this page. As you can see, we have data about finished, running, and scheduled jobs. And also I can go to a specific job if I want to see more data. So I just need to click on the job's name, and I get all of the data related to that job. And also I can filter it out. I can go to see all jobs related to this host, all finished jobs, running, and scheduled jobs. So this is basically what I wanted to show you today. This content will be available in Foreman 3.0 as experimental feature. So if you have any feedback, any comment, please let us know so we can improve it better for the next release, of course. Thank you. Thank you for your listening.
Thanks very much, Amir. I'll just take a quick look, but usually people are joining maybe, and there's a slight lag, so I don't see any questions at the moment, but if you do have questions for Amir, please ask, and I will ask the questions at the next interval. So up next, we have a first-time demoer. So we have Peter today. So welcome, Peter. And Peter is going to talk about the status of remote execution jobs on the dashboard and the rerun button. So if you are here, Peter. You are.
Thank you. I will share my screen.
Yep. Take your time.
Just a sec. Okay. But you can see my screen.
I can indeed.
Okay. So I will talk about. I will show you adding a widget on the dashboard of latest jobs. So all you need to do is click on Manage and click on Latest Jobs, and you will see the latest jobs that run. And as you can see, you can click on the latest jobs. That will bring you on the page with all jobs that run. And also you can click on this column that will bring you on the tax detail about these jobs. And also you can click exactly on the specific job, for example this, and that will bring you on a job invocation page. And now you can, the second thing I wanted to talk about and I wanted to show is the button that will shown in this template. So you click on the Rerun button, and that will bring you on this job invocation page. You can type, for example, hello world, and submit. And now you can you wait for a minute, and as you can see, this job is on this widget that's still run. And wait, just a sec. And you can see running 100%. And that's now it's succeeded. So as you can see, the state is succeeded. And that's all I wanted to share.
That's great, Peter. Thank you very much for coming along today. There was one comment during your demo, just more of a comment than anything else. So a user says, oh, nice. I just started remote execution and accidentally did a yum update. So that's just some feedback there. If anybody else has questions for Peter, feel free to ask at any point during the demo, and I will relay the question. Okay, doke. So if we don't have any questions for the moment, we can move on to our next demo, which is from Andra. And Andra is going to talk about some Ansible details on the host page.
Hello. So today I'll be showing Ansible content on the host detail page. We've finally started adding subtabs to the Ansible tab, and one of them is a list, a tab called roles, which shows a list of assigned Ansible roles. For now, this is just a simple list, but it's a stepping stone to other improvements, and there will be other features on this tab in the future. Another tab that we added was a tab with variables. Here we can see a list of the variables that are assigned that are relevant to the host, and these variables are meant to be overridden. They are set to override true, and we can see actually the values that the variables currently have and the source where the value comes from. So, for example, this the first one has a matcher on the FQDM. The second one has a match on the operating system, and so on and so on. And this one has a matcher on the lifecycle environment. And again, this is just a simple list, but there will be more additions to this in the future. And the last step, which was actually added by Ifat, but she couldn't be here, so she asked me to show this as well. And this is actually the inventory, which shows the inventory for this host, actually. And it's expandable. So the entry for hosts is just this one host, and on the host bars we can see all the values that are available. We can see the values from variables, and we can see some things that come from remote execution. We can see the available roles as well. So yeah, this is all I have.
That's great, Andra. Thank you. I see you're still presenting, so there's a small bit of a delay in the feed. So I will just pause for a moment for questions. And I think we are good. So we can proceed to the next demo. Thank you very much, Andra, and thanks to Yvette as well. So our next demo is from Dominic, and Dominic is going to talk to us about fact parsers move to core.
So hello everybody, I will share more screen, but today my demo will be more talkative than showing something. My demo should be about fact parsers that are moved to the core, and it just means that the fact parser, what is a fact? Fact is the every tool like Ansible, Chef, Salt, or some others can provide facts about the host they are working. So that means something like amount of memory that is available for these hosts, amount of storage, and so on, etc., etc., etc. But every tool has own structure of these facts. That means that you cannot find by the same path the amount of memory in the fact from Puppet or in the fact from Ansible. So this is what's fact parsers existing, because they are just reading that facts different way from every tool. And before my demo, these fact parsers were included in the plugin. So that means that the fact parser for the Ansible was included in the Foreman Ansible plugin. The fact parser for the Chef was included in the Foreman Chef plugin. Right now, every parser is in core, because these parsers are complex and they are slow and so on. That means we would like really to refactor them, and the first step of that is merge all these parsers to the core to have them on the one heap and make some improvements there and make them faster, extensible, and etc. And it has one nice feature. That means that you don't have installed in the Foreman Ansible plugin for to read the Foreman the Ansible facts of some hosts. So for my example right now, I have some fact. It's idle time in seconds apparently, and I have 2 origins for there because I'm testing it. One is from Puppet and second one is from Chef, and I got these facts from, and I can read these facts in my Foreman that doesn't have installed the Foreman Chef plugin. So that's all from me.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Dominic. I will just take a look for questions now. And I think we are good. So thank you again, Dominic. And we will move on to Adam. And Adam is going to talk to us about Foreman tasks interface scripts. And I'm sure you'll do a better job at introducing it than I have.
Hello. All right, I'll try my best, although you pretty nailed it. Before I get to the actual thing that I wanted to talk about, I will do a slight tour through the history, because the thing I'm going to talk about started a long, long time ago. If you've used Foreman for some time, you essentially had to somehow maintain tasks. And we ship 2 rake tasks to work with them. One is to create an export of your tasks, and the other one is to delete them. This takes us back to May 2015, when we added the one to export the tasks. Just for reference, this is around the satellite 6.1 era for those using satellite. The other one, the one for the cleanup, was added a bit later in July 2015. Now, those tasks are pretty good at what they do, but the user experience is, let's say, not ideal. The worst thing, at least for me, about them is that they are controlled by environment variables, and I never really remembered what those variables are. I'm kind of used to most of the command line tools, excepting --help to show some kind of help. Less often seen approach is that there is a help subcommand, which shows you again some kind of help. So every time I found myself using those rake tasks that we ship, I would do something like Foreman rake --help Foreman task :cleanup. That's the cleanup task. And I would run it, and I would get help for rake itself, which is not really what I wanted. So I would go, okay, so maybe the help needs to go at the end. And I would get the same thing. Another thing I would try would be using the subcommand method. So it would be Foreman rake help Foreman tasks cleanup. And now it's doing something. It runs for some time. I think it should be in the ballpark around 10 seconds or so. Maybe longer with me streaming what I'm saying. Okay. And it fails after some time because it doesn't know how to build task help. So then I would try putting this one at the end out of pure desperation. And now this one is actually quite dangerous, because rake takes arguments and expects each of the argument to be a name of a task. And then it just processes them sequentially. So it would first run Foreman tasks cleanup, and then it would try to run the help task, which doesn't really exist. The gotcha here is that this particular task, the Foreman tasks cleanup, can be run without any arguments, and then it goes by a list of rules and tries to perform some kind of automated cleanup. And since my database is quite clean, it wouldn't really do anything, as you can see here. But if your database was kind of full, it could just remove things, which is kind of bad. The canonical way to get help would be to pass capital D, capital D, and that would show the description for the rake task. So the keyword is description, not help, which kind of makes sense, but might be a little bit surprising. And again, it needs to load a large chunk of the entire application to be able to show this. So it runs for a couple of seconds. This one runs for around 4, maybe 5. That's the rough idea. Another kind of bad thing about this one is that it doesn't really tell you if you mess up one of the arguments. So if you want to delete everything that is older than 1 year, you would pass after equals 1y. The issue here is if you, I don't know, for example, get nervous when someone is watching you type, and you make a typo, and you do, for example, this, the tool won't tell you. I'll pass this to run it in a no-op without actually touching anything. So it's really error-prone. Every single little thing that you might get wrong, it will actually punish you quite heavily for it. So in here, I would expect to remove only the tasks that are older than 1 year. But in fact, it would perform some kind of automated cleanup. And once it actually runs, I should have prepared some jokes or something. Okay. So you can see that it would delete, well, it would try to perform the rule-based cleanup. And again, I have nothing matching those rules, but it's not really something that you would expect to happen, right? So this was bugging me for some time, especially when someone asked for support on IRC or something, and I would then have to go and try to put together the right command to run out of my head. So one day I just said, well, enough is enough. And I put together an interface script for it back in March 2018. So we're still not in the present day. And it's a shell script which serves just as an interface to the rake script. And that was in 2018. Then where's the date in here? Yeah, in January 2021. So there was quite a long time where I was just using that one I put together. But in January this year, I figured I might as well, make it official. So I sent a PR adding this interface script into Foreman tasks itself. And in addition to it, I added another one. So there's one for the cleanup and one for export. And both work essentially the same way. As you can see here, those were merged 7 days ago, so they didn't get into nightly builds yet. But the nice thing about those is you can just go into Foreman tasks, into the extra directory, find a script, see it roll, and you just copy the URL, just download it somewhere, it doesn't really matter, make it executable, and now you can run it. And it supports --help, which is what I really like. It it really fast because it doesn't really load anything. And it will yell at you when you provide the wrong parameter. Another thing worth mentioning is that by default, it doesn't actually run the command. It just generates what it would run. So you can go in and you can say that you want to delete everything that is older than 1 year, that is in post state, and you want it to be verbose, and I don't know, perform a backup while doing it. And you just run it, and it will spit out the command that should be used. And for me, this is really great when I'm supporting someone, because this has no dependencies, none whatsoever. So I can run it on my machine and just copy the output and provide it to other people. Alternatively, there is the -E or -execute, which makes the script actually run it. So it first generates the thing and then it runs it. And I hope this will be useful to someone else other than me, because that's the goal. The goal is to have some kind of a sane interface that is not so error-prone. And as far as I'm concerned, this ticks most of the boxes. So this is really all I wanted to show you. Please do check it out, try it out for yourself. I hope you'll find it easier to use than what we had previously. And if not, then I'm the person to come yell at. And with that, I guess I'll stop sharing, wait a bit for questions and comments. And if there are none, then we will continue with other demos.
Thanks very much, Adam. I appreciate that, and appreciate giving the rationale and the problems that this solves. It looks great. I will just take a look for some questions. I've been getting some pings that people are watching with at a delay, so that might be, we might get, if people are watching, we've moved on or we've finished, feel free just to ask questions either on the community discourse or on the YouTube video on the comment section once we're done, and I will find somebody to answer your questions for you. And let me check. I don't think, Adam, that we have any questions for now, so we shall proceed. And up next is the first of our 2 Katello demos for the day. So we have Andrew back again to talk to us about a new content view UI update for Katello, about the add and remove package group filter rules and matching content modal for RPM filter rules. So in your own time, Andrew, excuse me.
No problem. There's a lot of people presenting today.
Too many names beginning with A, but
Yeah.
it's usually I just call everyone Chris Roberts. So it's actually at least it wasn't too bad.
I don't mind that name. That's fine. Okay, so today I'll be talking about 2 new changes we're going to be walking through with the new CV UI, and I'll explain what that is very quickly. So if you're familiar with the content view and all of the wonderful things you can do there within Katello, basically what the new CV UI is exactly that, the new content view UI, which we're building up and building basically functional parity with. And what that means is we just want to be able to do all of the same things you can today in this UI over on this UI here. So I'll show you kind of what I've built, and I'll walk through the old UI really quickly first, and then what I've done in parity in the new UI. And do keep in mind when you're seeing the new UI, there are going to be probably some things missing. They are definitely slated to come in as well. We do want to make it a one-to-one comparison before it is released. Okay, so first I'll talk about adding the add remove functionality for package group filters. So we have a package group filter here. I'm going to go ahead and click into that. And this is the old UI. So when we wanted to go and add and remove it, we had a list remove, and then we'd go through and click to remove and go ahead and hit that button. And then we had an add on a separate tab. So let's go ahead and see the new UI for that. Mr. Package Group Filter. It is on the same table. And if I want to add one, I can just hit the add button. And if I want to remove one, again, I can just hit remove. Okay, so that's just adding and removing and the difference between the two and the two UIs. The other small thing I'm going to talk about is a matching content modal for the RPM filter. So I can go ahead, again, this is the old UI. Looking here, I have 4 different RPM filter rules. And I'm going to click on one just to see if I can see the matching content. Now, this star here, it means I'm going to match everything that can be found. And I see a bunch of them. That's good. And I can filter if I want. I have to hit the search button. And if you do have like a pre-written search field, you'll only receive the one that you're getting there. So this is the old UI. I'll go back to the new one. So looking for Bob again. There we are. We have our 4, or well, I guess 5 filter rules here. I'll open this up. View matching content. It's right here. Again, I can look for Mr. Cheetah. It is here. And the same again. It's right there. Okay, so that's feature parity between the two. If you have any questions, do let me know.
Okay, Doug, thank you very much. I'll just take a quick look, but I don't see any. I think we are good for now, Andrew. So thank you very much. Again, I will work on names in general. And up next with the second Katello demo for the day is Samir. And Samir is going to talk to us also about new content view UI, promoting content views, and task presenter.
Thanks, Melanie. Let me share my screen here. All right. So speaking of the new UI, we added a couple of things. So first one is the ability to promote. So I have a content view here, which is test. And I don't have any versions yet, so I can go ahead and publish. So the first change here is basically, oh, I do need some environments set up. Okay, I'll go ahead and publish this. And once this starts, you should be able to see the new task presenter on the publish and promote. So this is how it's supposed to look. Start up. If I close this right now, it should refresh the page and hopefully I'll be able to catch the task in progress. Okay, so you got a glimpse there. I did reset this sandbox, so I'll have to create a new environment quickly to be able to promote. Give me a minute. All right, so I just went ahead, added a new environment. So now I have a version, so I should be able to promote this. And here's where the promote lives. This is the new environment that I just added. Should be able to select it, promote it. And once this task starts, we'll go back to your versions page, and you should see the task presenter here. Clicking on this will take you to the task details. And once this is over, you should be able to see both the versions added, both the environments added to the version. And this is the task details. Yeah, so this was all for my demo.
Perfect. Thank you, Samir. Thank you very much. Just take a quick look around for amongst the jokes for questions. And I think we are good, Samir. So thank you again. And this concludes the Foreman user demos. And today we have one Foreman developer focus demo that is from Ole. And Ole is going to talk to us about DSL autocompletion in templates.
Yep, thank you. Hi all. Let me just share my screen. Today I'm here to somehow advertise my pull request or new feature that I'm currently working on. It's in this section for developers, since it's in early stage of development, I would say, and I need to gather some feedbacks and also make sure that more people are aware about this feature. The feature is actually a new DSL autocompletion for templates, for any kind of template that you're creating or updating. So how does it work? I'll show you a dummy example, but just to save some time. Let's assume that we want to update host statuses, for example, or any actually template, but I'll show it on report template. Let's just clone it, and if we want to modify something, we also kind of need to know what we actually can use here. What properties a host object has. As you may be aware, we have a new documentation section under About page. It looks like this, where you can find all the macros or all the resources and its properties that you can use in the templates. But if you're writing a lot of templates or a new one in this area, yeah, you have documentation, but it's not quite good to do this, what I was doing, just checking out the documentation and then resuming the writing. So because of that, we decided to incorporate this documentation into editor itself. So we will have autocompletion, which hopefully should help with writing one. So let's. I will show how it works, or how it looks at least. So if we want to add or use a macro, for example, load hosts, but we don't actually remember which arguments it has, and we don't want to search through all the documentation. We have it now here. It looks cutted because of my screen enhancement, but let me just try to load above. Load hosts. So yeah, as you can see, it has the entry and basic description if it has, then the signature of the method with all the arguments and also default values. It shows you a return value and few examples if you documented macros properly. Also, it supports, of course, fuzzy search. So if I just go mad, I found a macro which matches those letters. What else I wanted to show is that if we return back to the host and we need to add, well, I don't know, maybe last report, and we want to know what's the name of the method, or we want to know what methods are available for this object. Currently, it's just a autocompletion. It doesn't behave like IDE. It won't show you any suggest pieces. I'm sorry. Any help regarding what you can call on the object dynamically, but what you can do is just you mention the name of let's say class of the expected object, and here you can list all the supported methods. So let's say report. Let's report, and if you hit enter, it will just use the signature of the method. I guess that's it. Yeah. Also, you have if you don't like that it is enabled by default, you can also, of course, turn it off, and it will not work and will not bother you. This works for any kind of template, or at least should work with any kind of template. So please, if you have time or you need to or want to write a new template, please check this pull request. You can find the link in the agenda of this demo. So please check it out and yell at me if it doesn't work or if it needs some improvement. Any idea, if you have it, please yell at me. And I guess that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thanks so much, Ole. And you can find a link to the agenda for today in the video description of the YouTube live stream. I will just check, Ole, if we have any questions, because this is the end of our demo, so this is the last chance to ask questions live, so I'll just allow a minute. And if anybody thinks of something after we go offline, you can ask questions in the YouTube comments, you can ask them on Twitter, and probably IRC, Libra chat, and also a good place for kind of asynchronous communication and kind of longer questions is on our Foreman community discourse. So I think we are good, Ole. So I'd like to very much thank everyone who came along and demoed today. I know it's a particularly busy time. A lot of people are also enjoying holidays, which I think should be banned on Thursdays especially. So I very much appreciate everybody who came along today, and also thanks so much to those of you who joined us on the live stream. I very much appreciate you watching live with us, and I think other than I dropped a link to the community survey, so those of you who haven't done it, please take the time to do so. And I think that's everything from us for this week. We'll be back in 3 weeks and we'll talk to you then. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. And we're done, guys. Thank you so much.